Hey, so you're a healthcare pro thinking about making a move to work in Saudi Arabia? That's awesome. But before you dive in, there is one huge first step you absolutely have to nail, and that's the DataFlow verification. So in this quick guide, we're going to break down exactly what you need to do to get it right.
So, you've got your eyes set on a career in the kingdom, and that's fantastic. It's an incredible opportunity. But, before you can actually start practicing, there's a very specific path you have to follow.
And I mean, this process comes first. We're talking before the exams, before the job offers, you have to get your credentials verified. It's a completely non-negotiable foundational step in your whole licensing journey with the Saudi Commission for Health Specialties, or SCFHS.
Now look, the whole thing can seem a little complicated, and there are definitely a few places you can trip up. But don't you worry, that's why we're here. This is your clear, step-by-step guide to navigating it successfully and, most importantly, avoiding those super frustrating delays.
Okay, first things first. Let's kind of zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. It really helps to see the whole map before you take the first step, right? So understanding where DataFlow fits into the entire journey is key to getting started on the right foot. The whole process really just boils down to these three core phases. You start by registering on the official Saudi portal, which is called Mumaraz Plus. That's the step that kicks off the DataFlow verification. And then, only after that's cleared with a positive report, can you move on to the final challenge, the Prometric exam.
So what even is this DataFlow thing? Well, it stands for Primary Source Verification, or PSV. And trust me, this is way more than just getting a document stamped at an embassy. Think of DataFlow as a detective. They go directly to the source, your university, your old bosses, your licensing council, to confirm that your documents are 100% legit. It's a really deep dive, all to ensure patient safety and keep the standards of the healthcare system high.
Now let's get into the very first action you need to take. And listen up, because this is where a lot of people make their first mistake. So you're going to want to pay very close attention to this next slide. This is absolutely critical. Do not go to the DataFlow website to start. I repeat, do not start there. Your journey has to begin on Mumaraz Plus. It's the official central hub for the SCFHS, and starting your application there is the only way to trigger the DataFlow process correctly. Going directly to DataFlow will just cause a whole lot of confusion and delays.
Okay, so you've started the process on Mumaraz Plus. You're in the system. Awesome. Now comes what's probably the most important prep work, getting all your documents in order. Seriously, if you nail this part, everything else will feel so much smoother.
Here's your core checklist. You're going to need clear, high-quality scans of your passport, your degree, your academic transcripts, your valid professional license from your home country, and your experience certificates. You'll also sign a letter of authorization, which just gives DataFlow permission to check on everything. Oh, and a little pro tip, if your name is different on any of your documents, make sure you have that official name change certificate ready to go.
Now please listen to me on this one. This, right here, is the single biggest reason for delays. When you're filling out the forms, every single detail, names, graduation dates, employment dates, it all has to match your documents perfectly. A single typo can send your application into a super long review process. So double-check everything, then triple-check it all before you hit submit.
All right, deep breath. You've submitted your application. So now what? Well, this phase is all about managing your expectations. We're going to talk about how long it takes, the costs involved, and how you can keep an eye on things. So this is the standard timeline you should probably plan for. It can take anywhere from 25 to 45 working days for DataFlow to get responses from all your institutions. Now, sometimes it's faster, but if one place is slow to respond, it can take longer. The key takeaway here is pretty simple. Start this process early.
Okay, let's talk about the cost. The fees are going to vary based on what you need verified. A standard package that covers just your education and health license is about 500 Saudi riyals. If you need to add employment verification, that brings it up to around 800. And just be aware, some of your home institutions might charge their own fee to release your records, so that could be an additional cost.
The good news is you won't be left in the dark while you're waiting. Once you submit, you'll get a case reference number. You can use that number, along with your passport number, at dataflowstatus.com to see exactly where your application stands at any time. After a few weeks, you'll get your final report. This is the moment of truth. So let's break down what the possible outcomes actually mean for your journey. So what does the report actually say? Well, there are a couple of different outcomes. Let's take a look at what each one means. And we'll start with the one you're hoping for.
A positive report is the goal. That means everything checked out, the report is sent right over to the SCFHS, and you are clear to move on to the prometric exam. Now, if you get an unable to verify or discrepancy report, the first thing to do is not panic. It often just means an institution didn't respond in time, or there was a small inconsistency. It just means you have one more step: the appeal process.
If you do need to appeal, the process is pretty straightforward. You just log back into the DataFlow portal, click the button that says File an Appeal, and then you upload any new information that might help. Maybe it's a different contact person at your university or a corrected document. And the important thing to know is that your first appeal is totally free, as long as you file it within 180 days of getting that report.
So, once that positive report is in your hands, you've officially cleared a massive, essential step. Your entire professional history is validated, and the foundation for your career in Saudi Arabia is laid. The only question left is, are you ready to conquer that final step, the prometric exam?